Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is car. C-A-R.
Really?
You bet your life. It's Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood and brought to you by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The dealers who now have on display the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission and the all-new 1954 Plymouth, your best buy in the low-priced field. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples.
Well, we invited some bridge teachers to the program, Groucho, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Rose O'Brien Olson to be a contestant. Her partner is in the music business, Mr. Lucky Wilbur. So, folks, would you please come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Rose O'Brien Olson, you're a bridge teacher, is that?
Yes, I am, Archer.
And where are you from, Rose?
Tacoma, Washington.
Uh-huh. Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Burned your bridges behind you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, your name is Lucky Wilbur?
Yes.
No. How old are you, Lucky?
I'm 63.
What sort of work do you do, Mr. Wilbur?
I'm what they call a song plugger.
A song plugger?
Mm-hmm.
Well, really, of course, I know what a song plugger is, but I'm sure some of our listeners out there have never heard of song plugging. Could you tell them what a song plugger is?
Well,
Without us being arrested up here?
I work for a publisher, and when we get a brand new song, well, it's my job to go out and see how many plugs I can get on it. Mm-hmm. A plug means disc jockey, orchestra leader, anyone in the entertainment field. By the number of plugs, why, if the song has got a chance at all, we hope it'll become a hit.
Would you get paid by the plug?
Oh, no.
I know a jockey does. I thought perhaps you did, too.
No, not yet.
A disc jockey, I mean. He gets paid by the plug. There's a joke in there, but it isn't worth investigating. How long have you been doing this kind of work?
I've been at it...
If you can call it work.
Well, actually 44 years.
44 years?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the songs you've made famous?
Well, I started on Let Me Call You Sweetheart.
So did I, and got nowhere.
Meet Me Tonight in Dreamland.
I used to sing that.
3 o'clock in the morning.
I sang that around
Spanish
midnight.
Town.
Huh?
3 o'clock in the morning in a little Spanish town.
3 o'clock in the morning, a little Spanish town? I never heard that. Is that all one song?
No, 2 songs.
Oh. Two songs? That's in Arizona, isn't it?
No. Wow. And then from there I went.
You have to admire me. I certainly keep plugging away up there. I'm not funny, but I'm certainly persistent. Well, Rose, let's talk about bridge. You say you're a bridge teacher?
Yes, I am.
And where is your school?
At 611, the Contract Bridge Studio, 611 South Ardmore. Not Los Angeles. We've been there about over 20 years.
I have my own system in playing bridge. I played a couple of times. You kick your opponent in the shins, and then when they bend over, you just look at their cards. Now, how about cheating? Is there much cheating goes on among these card players in the bridge clubs?
Heavens, no, Harpo. Groucho.
It's all right. You call me Harpo, and I'll talk about stud poker. Lucky, let's get back to you. By the way, did you know I did an album for Decca Records last year?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
I haven't heard a laugh like that since Frankenstein was done by Boris Karloff. Well, I'd like to continue this conversation, but the time has come to play your bet, your life. Now, we have questions here ranging from $10 to $100, and you must pick 4 of them. The higher the amount, the tougher the question. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
You play bridge. I'm sure you're good with mathematics. All right, let's see how much money you can make. You selected sports. Mm-hmm. Now, you want to try a $10 question, a $50 or a $100, or just talk it over between you and come to some specific conclusion.
Let's start at
$50. $50, all right. A period in the game of polo lasts 7.5 minutes. What is this period called?
Chucker.
That's right, chucker.
You're on your way with $50.
Now, you will be much safer if you decide on an answer before calling out. 50?
All right, 60.
60, all right. What is the rubber disc used in ice hockey called?
Fuck.
That's right, puck.
You now have $110.
Don't look so somber, Fenneman. This isn't our money.
But it's my arithmetic.
Oh. Which one do you choose this time?
Go up. 10. 70.
70, all right. And what sport is Eric Guerin famous? Guerin.
Jockey.
Jockey is right. Horse racing.
You now climb to $180.
Now, what do you want for your last question?
80. 80.
All right. Who is the winner of the decathlon in the last 2 Olympic Games? Talk it over.
Mathis. Bob Mathis.
Bob Mathias is absolutely right.
And you wind up with $260.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth
Thank you
dealers.
very kindly.
We have some newlyweds for you, Groucho. Bob and Shirley von Kuznick, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word, and you'll take home an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Let's see, Shirley and Bob Van Kuznick, huh? You're newlyweds?
Yes, we are.
And Bob, where's your hometown?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, on Lake Erie.
And Shirley, where are you from?
I was born in Madisonville in Cincinnati.
What sort of work do you do, Bob?
I'm a lather.
You get paid for laughing?
Yeah, I put on wire, paper, and that, and a plasterboard on the inside of the houses.
Oh, you're a plasterer, huh? How old are you, Bob?
I'm 26.
You're pretty young to be plastered, aren't you? What's your age, Shirley?
19.
Are you a plasterer, too?
No, I'm not.
How long have you two been married, Bob?
Oh, about 10 months.
Oh. Shirley, is he anywhere near the right amount?
Well, to be exact, it's about 8 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days.
Bob, when was the first time you met Shirley?
I was in a hot dog stand in Cincinnati in 1951.
In a hot dog stand?
Yes, mm-hmm.
You mean it was just puppy love at first sight, huh? What was Romeo doing there besides getting mustard all over his necktie?
Oh, he was on a 48-hour pass from the Army.
Oh, 48-hour pass?
That's right.
What all did you manage to do on that 48-hour pass?
Well, we went out to Coney Island, went dancing.
Cincinnati?
In Cincinnati.
Is there a Coney Island, Cincinnati?
Oh, yes, uh-huh. And went swimming, went on all the amusements, took in a couple of movies, went to a show, and a party.
You must have been loaded with money, eh? It's always a mystery to me how a $50 a month GI can spend $300 on a weekend. Shirley, was Bob's Army close enough for him to see you regularly after that first date?
He was at Fort Knox.
He was at Fort Knox?
Yes.
That's where that $300 a week came from. Right? What were you doing at Fort Knox? Were you a gold brick?
I was an instructor there. I was teaching GIs why we fight in Korea, troop information education.
How long after you met Romeo did you get engaged, Shirley?
About 6 months.
What happened after he proposed, Shirley? Did he go and ask his general for a better job?
He went AWOL.
From who? You or the Army?
Army.
You know, you could get into trouble going AWOL, Bob. How long were you over the hill?
Oh, about a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Year and
Surprised
a
the Army missed you. That is, I'm surprised the firing squad missed you. Where'd you go for such a long time?
Well, I was teaching in my lesson plan that the survival for Western democracy was at stake in Korea, and somebody'd always say, wasn't he practice what he preaches? And after a lesson was over, and so I just went to Korea.
You went to Korea? How'd you do that?
I just decided to go and went out to the West Coast on an airliner, and
Well, how'd you swing it? I didn't know you could just pick up and go to Korea.
well, after I got out there, I went up to Seattle there, and I saw the ship there, and I knew it was going to Korea from the way GIs were talking around there, and So I went over to the naval barracks there where they were billeted, and early that morning there was an advance detail of cooks and bakers leaving, and so I put on a white mess jacket and an apron and went down to the dock that morning real early, and there was only about 15 of us, and luckily it was raining at the time because an officer there said, "Are these the men?" And he said, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, if it's raining, you better get the men out of the rain." And so we went aboard, and I went forward and got lost with the crew. I got to Japan.
Well, how far did you get before they finally caught up with you?
Well, they never did catch me. I got right up to the front lines.
Well, tell us about your experience as a AWOL soldier on the front lines. How did you get lined up with an outfit?
Well, the first outfit I came across was the British Princess Pats, and I stayed with them for a while and on some assaults there, and then I worked my way over to their flank to a South Korean infantry unit, and I stayed with them for about 3 weeks.
Now, weren't you frightened? After all, you had more or less short-circuited all the training the ordinary soldier gets before he goes into action. Were you scared?
Well, I was scared. Some lieutenant might tap me on the shoulder and say I was wanted at Fort Knox.
Well, what finally happened? Did the Army ever find out what became of their wandering boy?
Well, I finally told the platoon sergeant about it.
And what did he say?
Well, he told the lieutenant about it then.
Yeah? What did the lieutenant do?
Well, I went to captain, from the captain on up to the colonel to I Corps.
They were passing the buck private, in other words. What happened then?
Well, I went to Far East Command in Tokyo, and then from there to the Pentagon in Washington.
Well, it certainly can get lost there. What happened when they got to the Pentagon?
Well,
did they shoot you or anything? Hang you?
They finally court-martialed me and fined me $10.
Well, you can get that here if the exhaust in your car is smoking. Fined you $10, huh? Now, after you gave yourself up, how did they ship you? Did they ship you home right away?
Well, after my court-martial there at Tokyo, I requested to be sent back to my adopted tank unit in Korea, and so my request was granted, and next morning I was shipped back to Korea. I served a full tour then with that unit.
Well, that's an incredible story, Bob. A man assigned to Fort Knox wants to get something easier? Imagine a guy hanging around Fort Knox and dying to get to Korea and get into action. Shirley, you've probably heard the story 1,000 times. Did he leave out anything important?
Well, he was wounded and decorated a couple times, and there was a platoon up on the hill which needed some ammunition. They needed a volunteer to drive through the front to bring them the ammunition, and so Bob volunteered to go up there, and he got through all the enemies and everything, although he was wounded.
Were you dressed as a cook this time? Well, put her there, huh?
Thank you.
I think this country is pretty safe with fellows like you hanging around. Now, Shirley, how soon after Bob got home did you get married? Did you wait until he closed the front door? Or did you get married immediately?
Well, it wasn't immediately. We got married that evening.
Oh, well. I'm glad you waited a reasonable length of time. You certainly took a chance waiting a whole day. You might have got a telegram from Patagonia saying, having a nice war down here. I'll be late for the wedding. Signed, Bob. Well, now let's see if you two can win a lot of money. I have to be impartial up here. You realize that. I'm not allowed to say what I'm really thinking, but if you don't win the equivalent of Fort Knox, there's going to be some heads rolling in the morning around here.
In the race for the $1,500, the bridge teacher and the song plugger won $260, and the secret word is car.
Now, let's see how much money you can make. You selected American history. You know how to play this game? I have 10 questions. They'll weigh 10, 20, 30, all the way up to 100. You must pick 4 of the 10. As they increase in value, they get correspondingly tougher. Is that clear?
Clear.
Now, which one do you want to start with?
We'll start with the 5th question.
5th question, $50. The first and most prominent signature among the names on the Declaration of Independence has become a symbol for all signatures. Whose name is it?
John Hancock.
That's absolutely right, John Hancock.
We're off to a good start with $50.
You have $50 that nobody can take away from you except the Revenue Department. Now, what is the next one you want to try?
We'll try the 7th question.
$70. Who was the general in charge of the government forces annihilated in the Battle of the Little Big Horn?
General George Custer.
That is absolutely right.
You now have $120.
What is the one you're going to try now?
We'll take 8.
80? William H. Seward, as Secretary of State, was responsible for a land purchase that was known as Seward's Folly. What was Seward's Folly? He purchased some land for the United States. He was Secretary of State. If you don't know, guess.
Louisiana?
I'm sorry, it's Alaska.
But they still have $120.
You have $120 that nobody can take away from you. Now, which one do you want to try for on your final question?
Dan, do you want to try it, Dan?
We'll try the 10th question.
The $100 question?
Yeah.
Who was the first man to become president of all the 48 states?
George Washington.
The 48 states.
Oh, the 48
Now,
states.
think it over for a minute. Not the 13, but the 48.
Calvin Coolidge.
No, it's William Howard Taft. Or, if you want to be really technical, I would have accepted Eisenhower as the answer, since Ohio was formally admitted to the Union in 1953. So anyway, they won.
wind up with $120.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, and I'm sorry you didn't win more. All right, George, who's next?
Groucho, we asked for volunteers tonight. People,
the Army?
No. People with interesting stories. We asked that type of person to volunteer.
I see.
And just before we went on the air, Roxy Jamgogian and Walter Atkinson were chosen to be on the show. And here they are. So, folks, would you go in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Roxy Jamgogian. Who's that?
That's me, Groucho.
That's you? Huh?
Yeah.
How far did I miss the pronunciation?
Well, not any farther than the average person.
Oh. What kind of a name is Yamogian?
Shamgochian.
Shamgochian?
Yes.
What,
It's an Armenian name.
Armenian, huh? Well, what should I call you? Araxi?
My friends call me Roxy, which is much easier to say.
Oh, don't mention Roxy, will you?
No?
I played the Roxy in New York. We did 5 performances a day, and each performance lasted an hour. And on Saturday and Sunday, we did 6. So if you must have a nickname, I'll call you the Palace or the Majestic Theater in Chicago. Do you have a job?
Yes, I do. I teach at the Fairfax High School.
Oh, really?
In fact, I've been there since the school opened.
What do you teach?
Well, until just recently, I taught drama and public speaking, had the play production work. But just now, I'm in the English department.
Oh, you teach English?
That's right.
And where are you from, Walt?
I'm from Madison, Georgia. That's close to Athens.
I thought Athens was in Greece. Is that still your home, Georgia?
No, I was when I left. When I was 10 years old, we went south.
You went south? You went south from Georgia?
Yes, we went to Florida.
Oh. I thought the only thing south of Georgia was Africa, South Pole.
No, we went south. The boll weevil and the zuzu bugs got too rough, and we went south. But, I mean, they drove us plumb out of Georgia.
What do you mean by plum out? You had no plums?
No, we loaded up in a truck and headed south for Florida. And then when we got it...
You went by boll weevil to Florida?
No, the boll weevil drove us out. The boll weevil and the zuzu bugs.
Oh. I thought zuzu was a ginger snapper.
The zuzu bug is quite a bug.
It is? Well, evidently. What is a... Could you describe a zuzu bug for us?
You know anything about cotton?
I know Joe Cotton. I've seen him in
the
movies.
zuzu bugs, they suck the blossom, sting the bowl, pull up the stalk, and cover up the hole.
Well, I don't blame you from screaming out of there. Where'd you wind up?
We landed in Umatilla.
Well,
That's between Aspetulla and Okeechobee.
well, where else could it be? What was the name of this river?
The Ocklawaha.
Oh. Well, why did your family decide to settle in Umatilla?
Well,
Did they know anybody
Umatilla, when we were passing through Umatilla on this truck, a rear tire blew out. And we kind of settled there then.
Well, you'd have settled any place where the tire blew out, is that it?
Well, in this case, we settled in Umatilla.
Uh-huh. I don't think I'm familiar with Umatilla. I haven't been there recently. Where is it located?
Umatilla, I told you. It's between Astatool and Okeechobee. Banks of Ocklawaha.
Well, he hasn't changed the story any. What kind of a joint is Umatilla? Is it anything like New York City?
No smoke, no smog. Lots of rain and very little fog. Apex of the Golden Triangle, the home of the Okefenokee Queen watermelon and the big mouth bass. The heart of nature's wonderland. Umatilla, you'll like it. Three filling stations, an all-car garage, a post office, and a barber shop.
Wait a minute. You said something. You said car. Okay, up. You said the secret word car, so you get $50, and Mrs. McGotchin gets $50.
What did I say?
You said boll weevil, and that's the secret word in there. You just happen to be lucky that boll weevil was the secret word. It wouldn't happen again in 100 years. It was either boll weevil or Umatilla. I don't remember. Well, it's certainly been a confusing experience talking to you two. But now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. You know how to play our new quiz? I have a list of 10 questions. You pick the category yourself. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
In the race for the $1,500, the first couple lead with $260.
Let's see how much money you can make. You select a dictionary quiz. And being from Fairfax High, you ought to be very good at this, Mrs. Yamagochian. Now, which question do you want to choose first? You can start with 10 or 100 or 50.
Let's start with 4.
You don't want to discuss this with her at all?
That's all right.
Question number 4, that's $40?
Number 4, yes.
All right, a man who grinds grains and makes flour is called what? Talk it over.
A miller.
A miller on the D, that's right.
You now have $40.
Now what do you want to do?
5.
Number 50. Huh? If you were indolent, what would you be?
Lazy.
You'd be lazy.
That's right.
You now have $90.
Which one?
Well, we 8. Shall we try 8?
80?
8.
$80. If an aviary is a place to keep birds, what is an apiary? A-P-I-A-R-Y. Apiary? Apiary. Apiary.
Bees.
That's right. The place to keep bees.
You now have $170.
Now, which question do you want to try for? The 90, 100, 60, 30?
60.
60. What is the Latin phrase that means solid earth?
Terra firma.
Yes, he knew that.
And you wind up with $230.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Real good.
And that means the bridge teacher and the song plugger with $260. In just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question, Groucho.
Hello, this is Arlene Francis, here to tell you about the 1954 DeSoto Automatic. This dramatic new 1954 DeSoto is called the Automatic because it's the one car designed and built to carry out your sudden orders instantly, silently, and safely at all speeds. Parking or steering, DeSoto Full Power Steering works for you all the time and does the work of turning the wheel for you. And this year, the DeSoto Automatic offers you Power Flight transmission. With Power Flight Drive, you have really astonishing getaway power, and you never even lift your foot from the pedal. More big news is that the mighty DeSoto Fire Dome V8 engine is now a full 170 horsepower. Take it from me, you'll want to see this 1954 DeSoto automatic right away at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Now here's the bridge teacher and the song plugger all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
In 1889, an American newspaper woman went around the world in 72 days, 6 hours, and 11 minutes. For $1,500, what was the name of this famous New York journalist? Talk it over. Okay, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Wasn't Frances Quimby, was it?
No, it was Nellie Bly, very famous name.
Oh, yes. I'm
So
sorry.
that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, they lost the big money, but how much did they win the quiz, George?
They won $260 in the
Well,
quiz.
that's not so bad. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Thank you very much, guys.
You bet your life.
Thank you. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $2,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission also have on display the remarkable new Plymouth, engineered and built to be your best buy in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth, two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see the DeSoto Automatic.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Good drivers drive safe cars. So wise up, check up, fix up. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces throughout the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is clock. C-L-O-C-K.
Really?
You Bet Your Life. It's Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood and brought to you by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The dealers who have on display the outstanding DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission and the all-new Plymouth, your best buy in the low-priced field. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I'm again with $3,000 for one of our couples. Well, who's first, George? What have we got on the veranda?
Well, Groucho, we invited some dancing instructors to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Ann Reardon to be on the program. Her partner is Mr. Bill Eddy. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, hot diggity. Welcome, youngsters, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Ann Reardon and Bill Eddy. Ann, you're a dancing instructor, it says here, huh?
Yes.
Where are you from, Annie?
Well, I was originally from St. Louis, and I lived in Chicago, but I've been out here since I was 12 years old.
In other words, Annie doesn't live there anymore.
That's all.
Are you single?
Yes.
I hope I'm correct in guessing you're not engaged. Am I correct?
Yes.
Are you busy tonight?
Yes.
You say yes?
Yes.
Tomorrow night?
Yes.
You said yes 4 times in a row. You realize that?
Yes.
Apparently, the answer is still no. This is the most delightful brush-off I've had in years. Bill Eddy, that's you, huh?
Yes,
I don't care how many times you say yes. My guess is you're about 5 years older than Ann. Is that right? How old are you?
Well, I'm 28.
Ann, was I pretty close?
Yes.
Still saying yes, eh? Right after the show, let's you and I have a soda, just the 2 of us, okay?
No.
They always get around to that sooner or later. Bill, are you married?
No.
Engaged?
No.
Can you support a wife, Bill?
Well, reasonably well.
You're walking on quicksand, Bill. Where do you work?
I work for the Bank of America in Glendale, Maine office.
Oh, you work at the Bank of America. And congratulations. This is better than striking oil. Bill, what do you think of Ann? And be candid as you like. You know, you're among friends.
Well, on such short acquaintanceship, I think she's a very lovely and charming girl.
I haven't seen a banker pay that much interest since the boom of '87. I've often wondered about banks with all that money around. How do they know you fellas won't take home a few samples?
Well, the bank conducts a very thorough investigation and ascertains our honesty before we're employed.
That's not important. They better make sure you're honest after they hire you. Isn't there some little way an employee can make an honest mistake, like slipping a couple of $1,000 under his toupee?
Well,
be honest, isn't there?
Well, a teller could go out to lunch and take a couple grand with him and not come back, but wouldn't be long before his absence was noticed, and he'd be caught eventually.
Yes, but by this time he'd have had the lunch. Well, apparently you've been giving this some thought anyhow, haven't you? And you may have your honeymoon in Rio de Janeiro. Bill, by the way, I know the Bank of America is a very big bank. It happens I've got $32 there myself. Now, just between us, what assurance do I have that this money is safe?
Well, all deposits up to $10,000 are assured or insured by the federal government in Washington.
That's my guarantee. Huh?
Yes.
Have you heard that the federal government is about $280 billion in the hole? And that's after they collected Crosby's taxes. Let's talk about you, Ann. Where do you do your dancing?
The Arthur Murray Studio on Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh, Arthur Murray. Oh, I know him very well. As a matter of fact, I was on his show a few weeks ago. Did you see it?
No.
You didn't, huh? If you remember right after that, you remember he got robbed? Did you read about that? Well, there was no connection between my performance. I just thought he should have paid me off in something besides dancing lessons, that's all. What is the most popular dance these days? I know the one I like. The costumes are wonderful. All you need is 7 veils. You do that dance at all?
No, we don't.
What is the most popular?
Oh, of course, foxtrot. And it seems everybody nowadays wants to learn the mambo.
Oh, the mambo. Oh, I remember mambo. That's a sort of a combination of rumba and jitterbug, isn't it?
Well, that's pretty close.
With a little catch-as-can wrestling thrown in for good measure.
Pretty close.
And you think you could teach this guy anything?
Oh, I'm sure I could.
Bill, when do you think you could get together with her just to kind of talk things over, huh?
Well, we discussed this a little bit before the show, and we decided if we won any money, why we might get together after the show and talk it over a little bit.
This was, you knew this all the time when I was talking to her? At the beginning, huh?
Yes.
Like a cat playing with a mouse, huh?
Well, she gave the right answers.
It was more like a rat playing with a mouse. You two have already gotten together, huh? Well, I swan, huh? Gosh, I haven't swanned in years. Apparently, he doesn't spend all his time foreclosing mortgages. Well, you're a very attractive couple, and Ann, if Bill has trouble carrying you across the threshold, after you're married, don't worry. Do what I do. But now, let's see how much money you can win. You beat our other couples, and you get a chance at the big money. Now, let's see, you select a general information quiz. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is.
Go for 70.
Okay.
What's that from there?
Okay.
70, eh?
$70.
All right. In a matrimonial sense, what is a benedict?
It's me. Might as well guess. It's a ring. The guy that gives a ring.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that the fellow that gives the ring to the groom?
No, that's a married man, usually newly married. Well, that's
Single. I'm sorry.
Now, what question do you want?
What do we go for
You
now?
still got lots of chances.
Try 50.
80, 30, 100,
60.
any
60.
60. What kind of a business establishment would you associate with a mortar and pestle?
Plaster, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Plaster?
Either a drugstore or a pharmacy. Or pharmacy.
That's the
it's
thing he
same
grinds it up in.
That's right, yeah.
Whoa, we're not doing worth a dime.
Now, well, now what do you want?
Let's go for the 50. Can't get too low.
Okay.
50.
50.
According to Mother Goose, who went to bed with one shoe on?
This'll have to be yours.
See, a married man with children would know this. Well, I know. It's Diddle Diddle Dumpling. My son John went to bed with his stockings on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle Diddle Dumpling, my son John. You see, you have to have children. Remember that. Now then, it's your last chance to beat the other couples. What question are you going to go for?
$80.
$80. What do you call a freshman at West Point?
Plebe.
Please.
Plebe is right. At least you have $80. Yes.
Well, now we have a young lady with an interesting job, Groucho. Her name is Shirley Lestelle, and her partner is Mr. Charles Sandoval. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome. Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide by $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Let's see, Charles Sandoval and Shirley Lestelle, eh? You're Shirley, huh?
Yes, sir.
Shirley, you don't mind my calling you Shirley on such short acquaintance, do you?
Not at all.
What did you say?
I said I don't mind you calling me Shirley.
Do you always talk that way?
Well, I guess so. My voice didn't change as I grew up.
Your voice didn't change?
No.
How come?
I don't know. It sort of left me, or I left it, one or the other.
Oh. Well, your voice was very foolish, Shirley. Now, how old are you, Shirley?
25.
25?
Yes.
You're a fine-looking girl. Mr. Charles Sandoval, that's you, huh?
Yes, sir, that's me.
I can't help but notice that patch over your eye. Is that anything serious?
No, sir, the bright lights hurt my eyes.
Oh. You look very distinguished with the patch. And the schnurrbart and the goatee and... Isn't this a schnurrbart?
Schnurrbart?
No. Yeah,
No.
I think so.
Goatee?
Is your chin sensitive to light, too?
No, sir.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in the city of San Salvador in the Republic of Salvador.
Oh, well, why did you leave San Salvador? Did you get tired of bananas?
No, there was a revolution in 1929, and my father thought it would be a good time to leave the country.
You mean he let a little revolution scare him? Was he a coward?
No, certainly not. He was a president.
Well, the job blew up in his face, son. I don't blame him for quitting. There's not much chance for advancement in a job like that. Shirley, let's get back to you. There's one question I haven't asked. You are married, huh?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any outside interest, Shirley, or do you spend all your time keeping house?
Oh, no, I work for a Papermate Pen Company. I have for the last 2 years.
Just what do you do there?
Well, right now I'm doing the first assembly. I've done fillers, first assembly, final assembly, inspection.
What's a filler?
A filler is the...
And that's a fellow you were married to. I don't mean him.
Well, a filler in a Papermate pen is the little inside that you write with. That's what you buy when you run out of ink, but it doesn't happen very often.
Only when you write, I guess, huh?
There's about 70,000 words there.
There is. I don't know that many words. Well, can you write in an airplane with that pen?
Sure.
Can you write in a submarine?
Definitely.
Have you ever been in a submarine?
No.
Well, how do you know you can write in one?
Because we advertise it, and when we advertise it, it's so.
Suppose I were to buy one. How would I know if it was any good, assuming that I did buy one?
Well, it would be good if you bought it because each pen is tested. We got 20 girls.
You test them underwater?
No, on paper. We have 20 girls that ride
nothing?
Johnson all day long.
Johnson must get an awful lot of mail, huh? Why do they write Johnson? I happen to know Johnson. He can't even read. Besides that, he's a married man. Does Mrs. Johnson get wind of this?
No, but Johnson has all the necessary loops and swirls and straight lines.
If you think Johnson has them, you should see Mrs. Johnson. Well, it's been an experience talking to you two. But I'm sure you'd be much more interested in winning some money, wouldn't you, Charlie?
That's right.
So let's play You Bet Your Life. Beat our other couples, you'll get a chance at the big money later.
The banker and the dancing instructor won $80, and the secret word is clock.
You selected science and fiction. Remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want? $10 one? 80, 100? Talk it over, your partners.
Good enough.
60, please.
60. What is another word for vertigo?
Vertigo, dizziness.
That's right.
Off to a good start with $60.
Now, what one do you want?
Okay.
70.
70. What do you call the colored part of the eye?
The pupil. The colored part of the eye is the retina.
Right.
No, the boat's gone,
Cornea.
Charlie. It's the iris.
Oh.
Now you have $60. Now, what do you want?
We'll try the $80.
80? Okay. What is the common word for clavicle?
Clavicle, collarbone.
That's right.
You now have $140.
Now, what do you want to try? Is your last chance to beat the other couple?
90.
90.
90? What is the science that deals with birds called?
Ornithology.
That is absolutely correct.
And you wind up with $230.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, before we proceed, I have a telegram here I want to read. This is to Groucho Marx, NBC Hollywood. The 500 radio and TV editors participating in the annual Motion Picture Herald and Fame magazine poll have voted George Fenneman the best announcer in television. Thanks, gentlemen, thanks. George, get your head out of the clouds and tell us who's next.
All right, Groucho, we have a guest tonight from down under. He's Mr.
And don't ask for more money. You're just wasting your time.
No.
As a matter of fact, we may cut your salary. Now that you'll have these encomiums.
What?
Encomiums.
We have a guest tonight from down...
This fellow went to Stanford, and I went to reform school. Huh? ECOMIUMS. Something like that.
We have a guest.
Encomiums. Look it up when you get home,
I'll
George.
do that for sure.
Look under E.
E. We have a guest tonight, Groucho, from down under. Mr. Ethel Smurden.
Where is he, in the subway?
Well, you'll see in just a minute, I think. Mr. Ethel Smurden is his name, and his partner is a Hollywood pioneer, Miss Mary Sackett. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word, and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Ethel Smurden. Oh, come now, you just made that up, didn't you?
No. My name is Ethel. That's a Scotch
Ethel?
name.
Well, why aren't you in a gas tank?
Oh, well, Ethel, you see, is the male equivalent for Ethel, the girl's name.
Oh. How about Smurden?
Smurden, well,
What kind of a name is Smurden?
That's Old English, Devonshire. My grandfather came from South Devon.
Oh. Now, where are you from, Mr. Smurden?
Oh, I'm from Auckland.
Auckland? Well, that's right across the bay from San Francisco, isn't it?
No, Groucho. Auckland, A-U-C-K-L-A-N-D.
I don't care how you spell it. It's still across the bay from San Francisco. Why do you assume this dialect if you're from Auckland?
Well, actually, have you ever heard of New Zealand?
New Zealand? Have you ever heard of Ecomium?
No, frankly, I haven't.
Well, that's right across the bay from Oakland.
Same place.
Now let's talk to you, okay, Mrs. Sackett?
Miss Sackett, if you please.
Miss Sackett?
Thank you.
I'm terribly sorry.
No, you may be sorry, but I'm not.
This hasn't been an easy day for me, so... Well, I'm glad you're not sorry, Mrs. Sackett. You're a spinster, huh?
I'm a spinster from Choice.
From Choice. Is that near Oakland? Where were you born?
In Suffield, Connecticut.
In Connecticut, huh? You're
across the alley from the town hall, opposite the town park, with the town cigar factory in the backyard, the family orchard and the family garden, on my granddad's Connecticut seed leaf tobacco farm, 10 miles from Springfield, Mass., 16 from Hartford, Connecticut. And if you would dispose of the cigar, I'll thank you.
Can I just hold it?
No, I don't like some.
Well, how do you feel about me, Mary?
Oh, you look all right, perhaps, if you leave the cigar alone.
Okay.
Does anyone have a
Boy, am I getting pushed around tonight. How old are you, Mary?
78 years.
78. Well, you're certainly spry and chipper, and not married. Now, Fenneman introduced you as a Hollywood pioneer. How long have you been in California?
I landed here on Thanksgiving Day, 1887.
1887. That was 70 years ago, huh? What was
Not quite.
No, well.
67.
Well, I wouldn't argue with you because I'd come off second best, but did you do any work as a girl when you first came out here?
Oh, I tended a store outside of school hours for my father.
What kind of a store? General store?
A general store, a country store. I took care of the post office when it came along in the corner of the store, and when they electricized the dummy line and put it down to Santa Monica, I had the ticket and freight business. 3 of them at one time for 3 years.
Say, you were a pretty important part of...
Well, I had to have help.
You didn't do it all yourself, huh?
Well, when...
Why did you quit the post office, Mary? Were the postcards getting too hard to read?
I didn't read the postcards.
Just the letters?
I didn't. Well, I couldn't get into the letters.
Well, how do you spend your time these days? What do you do to entertain yourself?
Oh, I read and I walk and I talk.
You do them all very well, too, Mary. I hope I do as well when I'm your age next year. Do you ever watch my show on television?
Sometimes, not often. Because I seldom look at the television.
Well, do you like
you
me?
or anybody else? You're all right.
Took a long time to squeeze that out of you. Well, I'd like to continue this conversation, but now it's time to win some money. If you beat our other couples, you'll get a chance at the big money.
Our second couple leads with $230.
Now, you two have to decide on one answer between you on all these things. Let's see how much money you can make. You select the geography. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what question do you want to start with?
Or I figure we'll take about...
Talk up.
I figure we'll take about number 8. How's that?
Number 8? The $80 one? Is that all right with you, Mary?
All right. If whatever's right with him, it'll be all right with me, I expect.
To what country does Greenland belong?
Iceland.
No, it's Denmark. All right, now you got 3 more chances.
Come on,
Which
what
one do you want?
Say 70.
70. What is the capital city of Alaska?
Anchorage.
No, it's Juneau. What one do you want now?
Come on, what do you want now?
50?
Let's go the big one. You get nothing to lose so far. Yeah, we'll go 100.
100?
We got to get together.
What is the largest state east of the Mississippi?
Largest? Now, you're from the United States. What's the largest state east of the Mississippi? Texas.
Isn't that...
Texas is west.
Oh.
Isn't that just like a man? Well, it's Georgia. That's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much you going to bet? You want a $90 one? A $10 one?
No, we'll go the 100. It's all right with you if we go the 100? It's all right with
No,
me?
you've had the 100. You can go 90.
Ah, all right, we'll go 90. All right?
All right.
In which of our states do you find Shoshone Falls? S-H-O-S-H-O-N-E. They're higher than Niagara. In which of our states do you find Shoshone Falls?
Higher than Niagara. That's in Idaho, is it?
That's right. Idaho is right.
And you wind up with $90.
Well, I'm glad you didn't leave me broke, Mary. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
And that means that Shirley Lestel and the man from San Salvador with $230 in just 1 minute get the chance of the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question. Let me tell you about a man who's going to be mighty happy soon. He'll be happy because he'll be enjoying the comforts of a really fine automobile. A top-value used car he's going to pick out from his neighborhood DeSoto Plymouth dealer's great selection. Now, let's see why this late-model, low-mileage car is going to be such an exceptional buy. Well, first, the car was traded in on a new DeSoto automatic, then given a thorough inspection. After being completely checked from bumper to bumper by the staff of expert mechanics at the neighborhood DeSoto dealer's marvelous service center, necessary reconditioning and tune-up work was completed immediately. Finally, because your DeSoto dealer thought that this car was one of the top values on his lot, he awarded it the Groucho's Special Sticker. That's his way of showing you the finest used car buys in town. You'll find you can buy one of these Groucho Specials on the easiest of budget payments. So if it's a fine used car you want, look for the Groucho's Special Sticker. Then perhaps you'll be the happy man sitting in the driver's seat of a Groucho's Special used car.
Remember, see the Groucho Specials at your neighborhood DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you.
Groucho, here comes our winning couple, the man from San Salvador and Shirley Lestel, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question.
All right, for $3,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. One of the most famous of Greek legends concerns Jason and his quest for the Golden Fleece. The sailors who accompanied Jason had many wonderful adventures. For $3,000, what were these sailors called? It is a word still used frequently. Talk it over. What is the answer you two have decided upon?
Argonauts.
Argonauts is absolutely right, huh? $3,000, and that was a tough question. How much they win the quiz, George?
$230 in the quiz.
Which gives them 32.30. It's not bad. What are you going to do with all that money? That's $16.15 apiece, huh?
I'm going to get a house.
You're going to get a house? And you? What are you going to do with yours?
Same thing.
You're going to get a house? Why don't you get one between you, huh?
You can get a duplex.
Congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life, huh?
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission also have on display the remarkable new Plymouth, engineered and built to be your best buy in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth, two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see the DeSoto Automatic.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Don't be a wacky walker. Don't cross between intersections. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jack Meakin. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is name. N-A-M-E.
Oh, you can spell, huh?
You bet your life.
Really?
It's Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood and brought to you by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The dealers who have on display the outstanding DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission and the all-new Plymouth, your best buy in the low-priced field. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
I'll fight Marciano for every nickel he's got. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples.
You know, we invited some girls from a fan club
You did.
to the
Does
show
your wife
tonight.
know about this?
Well, this is for you.
For me?
Yes, and we selected
Now
one.
you're talking.
We selected one to be on the show just before we went on the air, and her name is Miss Sheila Pugh, and her partner has a very interesting
Give me
story.
that again?
I'm not going to. Her partner has an interesting story. He's Mr. John Burgoyne Ely. Mm-hmm. And I'd like these people now to come in and meet Groucho Marx.
You would.
Folks?
Welcome, folks, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Let's see, John Burgoyne Ely and Sheila Pugh. Well, you make a very attractive couple. Let's see what you have in common. Sheila, what is your age?
I'm 16, Groucho.
You're 16?
16.
Johnny, how old are you?
84.
84, well... Well, you make a very attractive couple. The man should be a little older, you know. Johnny, what was your full name again?
John Burgoyne Ely.
That's an English name, isn't it, John?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you from England, John?
Originally, I came from Normandy.
Normandy? That's in France, isn't it?
Well, I believe so. This was in 1066.
Tell us something about your ancestors. They sound illustrious. Are they?
Well, when William the Conqueror conquered England, he took the first John Highley of record with him as his treasurer of the household. And John Highley's son was treasurer of the realm. His grandson was Lord High Sheriff of London. So I suppose I'm the 45th Duke of Normandy.
Well, were you ever married to Barbara Hutton?
I wasn't that kind of a duke. I was a poor duke, I guess.
Well, being a duke, Johnny, which one of these big English castles were you born in?
I was born in a shack in Arkansas.
Arkansas. What were you doing there?
I was getting born.
Well, it's like Shack and the Beanstalk, huh? Sheila, what was it Fenneman said you were besides a girl?
I am the International Vice President of the official Gordon McRae fan club. That's one of the largest in the world, Groucho.
Gordon McRae? Oh, I know him very well. He's a great performer. I admire him a great deal, too. Isn't he the fellow that makes his living getting shot out of a cannon?
Groucho, you know as well as I do that he's one of the greatest singers in the country.
What about the city? Well, he's one of my favorite singers. He's on the Railroad Hour or something, isn't he?
Right, Monday nights on NBC.
Now, Mr. Ely, would you like to belong to her fan club?
Well, yes. I like singing. I'm a musician.
You are, huh? Well, who was your favorite star? Theda Barry?
Oh, no, Jack Benny.
Jack Benny, huh?
Present company accepted, of course.
It's all right. You made your faux pas. Let it lay there. Huh? Why do you like Jack Benny, of all people?
He paid my first year college tuition.
I thought he was 39 years old. Well, all this nonsense about Benny being stingy is just part of his act, then, huh? Oh, yeah. Actually, he's one of the most generous men in show business.
I think so. Mm-hmm. Sure.
When did Benny pay your college tuition, John? In the days of William the Conqueror?
No, that was 2 years ago when I got through with John Muir.
What college did you attend? Do you attend now?
UCLA.
Oh, UCLA. I saw you play in the Rose Bowl against Michigan State.
No, I was on the pep squad. I used to write poetry for them.
What are you studying now, John?
Music and drama.
Mm-hmm. What kind of music are you interested in?
Classical, semi-classical music.
Like Gordon McRae kind of stuff, huh?
He
sings real He-Man songs. You know.
Really? Well, I like
about
He-Man.
The wind in your face and everything, you know.
I like He-Man on it. She women.
Well, you said you got the sexes straightened out there. Well, you make a very attractive couple, and I hope you'll be very happy together. Now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. Now, all you have to do is win more money in the quiz than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the big money later. You selected Biblical Quiz, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with a $50 question, Groucho.
What is the popular term for this biblical statement? All things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them.
That's the golden rule, Groucho.
Yes, it is. That's the golden rule.
On your way with $50.
70?
What do you want, a $70 one? Or $30?
70 is fine, Groucho.
70, all right. On what famous mountain did Moses receive the Ten Commandments?
Sinai.
Mount Sinai. That's
Mount Sinai is right.
You now have $120.
Now, which one do you want?
80?
80?
All right.
80.
What was the name of the mountain where the ark landed?
Oh, golly.
Mount Ararat.
Mount Ararat is right.
You now have $200.
And this is your last chance to be the other couples. What are you going to go for?
100 or 100? 100. You want to try it?
Yeah.
Pretty sure you can get it.
All right.
I'm not sure I can.
Come on, kids.
Okay, 100.
100. What is the shortest book of the Old Testament?
Do you know that?
I know the shortest verse.
No, the shortest book.
Gone.
No.
Obadiah.
Oh, dear. Never would have
That's a
thought of it.
tough one. But you took a $100 question. That's a tough one.
And you wound up with $200.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
This year, DeSoto is automatic with Power Flight drive that's the best.
Folks, if you're looking for real driving pleasure, you'll find it in the new DeSoto Automatic equipped with Power Flight, America's finest fully automatic transmission. Power Flight gives you the smoothest, quietest, fastest acceleration you've ever experienced. You see, DeSoto fully automatic Power Flight transmission was designed and built to carry out your sudden orders quickly, quietly, smoothly. It's truly no clutch, no shift driving at its best. No wavering, no fluttering. Power Flight gives you smooth, even, fast acceleration. The kind of lightning-fast acceleration and getaway you need on the steepest hills or in a sudden emergency. You'll find that in the city or on the highway, DeSoto Power Flight transmission makes driving easier, safer, and much less tiring. So, for a new driving thrill, for a new experience in driving comfort, get behind the wheel of a DeSoto automatic equipped with DeSoto fully automatic Power Flight transmission. Stop in at your DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. Once you've seen the smart styling of the new DeSoto automatic, once you've thrilled to its wonderful performance, you'll know why the new DeSoto automatic puts you ahead automatically.
For the finest car yet, you should drive, you should get the DeSoto automatic.
All right, George, who's next?
Just before we went on the air, Groucho, our studio audience selected Miss Patricia Crane. Her partner is a man with an interesting occupation, Mr. Harry Lauren. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome. Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Miss Patricia Crane. That's you, I presume, huh? You're a very charming girl with a cute squint. I'd say you were about 23. Is that right?
Thank you. I'm afraid 27, I'll have to admit.
Well, you don't have to. You can lie up here the same as I do, huh? Are you for Heirat?
For what?
Are you married?
Oh,
I thought I was in violin.
No, I'm not.
You're not married? Well, you should be. Young, charming girl. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from a small town near Salt Lake City, Utah. In fact, it's called Cottonwood Canyon.
Oh, well, that's a very pretty name, isn't it? Huh? And you're Harry T. Loughran, huh? Is that the way you pronounce it?
Lauren, that's close enough. I've been called Langhorn, Laughlin, McLaughlin, and lots of names.
Longhorn, that's a steer, isn't it?
That's from Texas, yes,
Yeah.
sir. That's where I come from.
Well, there was a Loughran who was a light heavyweight champion. You're not him, huh?
No relation, Groucho.
No. Were you ever in the ring?
No, I never been in.
No. Big enough, you could afford Jeffries and Dempsey and John O'Sullivan. You like that, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
That's a nice, pleasant prospect I laid out for you there. And if you'd have taken it up, you'd have been laid out there. Well, I'll call you Harry. That's simpler, huh? Although the name is Loughran. I don't care what you call it. Now, Pat, I'm sorry I've been neglecting you. You're real cute. It won't happen again. It's not like me. Why were you chosen tonight? Do you have an unusual job?
Well, at the present, I'm working for the Hughes Research and Development Laboratories, but my last job was quite unusual. I was with the Special Activities Division of the Army.
Oh. Were you a whack in the Army?
No, I was a civilian rec director.
You were a rec director. What did you do? Did you direct GIs to the hospital after they came back from a 2-day pass?
Well, actually, the term is shortened for recreation director.
I see.
Why
didn't they just call you a hostess or something simple?
Well, we had been called hostess, but it sounded a little bit like dime a dance or something like that, and the commanding general felt that it wasn't dignified enough. So he changed
The general
the name.
wanted dignity, huh?
That's right.
He's right. There's one thing a GI looks for in a girl, it's dignity. I'll bet when the general dictated that order, his secretary was probably sitting on his lap at attention. Harry, I forgot to ask you, what sort of work did you do after you quit the ring?
Well, Groucho, I'm a field deputy for Supervisor Burton W. Chase. I formerly was out at Compton in politics. I had the first position there in the Planning Commission. Then I was on the Housing Authority. Then I stepped over to the school board. I was president of that, postmaster, then elected mayor. And I found out that it only paid $40 a month, so I resigned and come to Los Angeles with the supervisor.
But if somebody offered you a big purse, would you fight again, Harry?
I believe so.
Well, I wish you lots of luck the next time you enter the ring. Well, you're certainly a nice twosome. Particularly you, Pat, and you too, Harry. And me. And I'd like to pursue this conversation, but it's time to play You Bet Your Life. You win more money than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the big money later.
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple, John Burgoyne Ely and his partner, won $200. And the secret word is name.
Now, let's see how much you can make. You selected food quiz. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what one do you want? A $10 one? 50, 100, 90?
Well, we'll try a 30 first.
A 30? Okay. What kind of a fruit is a green gauge?
All right, plum.
Plum, you're plum right, huh?
You now have $30.
What is it, kids?
Well, let's take a $50 and see what he's
50.
got there.
What is the correct name for the small bulbs of garlic used in seasoning? What is the correct name for the small bulbs of garlic used in seasoning?
Button.
It is cloves.
Oh.
You still have $30, however.
That's a new one on me. Now what do you want to try?
You say.
Let's try another one. Let's take 60.
60? If sauerkraut was cabbage before it was sauerkraut, what was hominy before it was hominy?
Corn.
That's right. Corn is right.
You now have $90.
And it's your last chance to beat the other couples. What question do you want to go for?
Let's try the 100.
Oh.
100?
We'll try.
What do you call the plants, similar to mushrooms, that grow a few inches below the surface of the ground? They are especially popular in France.
T-R-U.
Oh, truffles.
F-F-E-L-S.
That's right. Truffles is right.
And you wind up with $190.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thank you.
Now, before we proceed, I have a letter here I want to read. The Groucho Marx, NBC Hollywood. Dear Groucho, last week you made a point of heckling Mr. Fenneman because he didn't know what encomium meant. I looked it up in the dictionary, and there is no such word. It's encomium, and it means high praise. George has the last laugh. Signed, Bruce Feinel. Abject I knew it was encomium. I just left out the N, that's all. Say, it's an achievement to even know encomium, isn't it? All right, George, forget the encomiums and tell us who's next.
Well, Groucho, we have some people with interesting stories, and I think they're ready to come out. Mrs. Elizabeth Burrow and Professor Lou Girdler, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Elizabeth Burrow and Professor Lou Girdler, eh? Mrs. Burrow, I'll start with you. Where are you from, Shorty? Mrs.
Glasgow, Scotland.
Glasgow, Scotland, eh?
Yeah. Near Clydebank.
Clydebank, yeah. That's where they build the ships, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
How long ago was this?
Well, it was 62 years ago.
62 years, eh? Oh. How long since you left Scotland?
About 44 years.
Mm-hmm. What caused you to leave the locks and rills, Elizabeth?
Well,
did they just think because you were 18-year-old Scot you should be exported?
Well, no, I had a sister here.
A devious joke.
I had a sister here who was happily married, and I thought I'd like to come to America. Maybe I would meet a nice man and get married, too.
Mm-hmm. Professor Girdler, where are you from?
La Grande, Oregon.
Oh. At which of our institutions of higher learning do you do your professing?
I'm at Arizona State College in Tempe.
Mm-hmm. What brings you to Hollywood, Prof? Don't they have co-eds at Arizona State? Or are you just playing a little hooky?
They don't.
As they'd say in Scotland, hooky. Is that the way you say it?
That's right.
Hooky.
They don't have research libraries in Arizona, and I'm doing literary research in the backgrounds of English neoclassicism. I'm studying the Greek and Latin classics like Livy and Sallust and Ovid and people like that, particularly Latin neoclassicism, and in philosophy, in the continental rationalists like Descartes and Spinoza, And
You touch Racine at all? I don't mean Wisconsin.
Racine was not a philosopher, Groucho.
No, what was he?
He was a playwright, principally, and critic.
Don't mention critics around here at all. You teach what, English?
Yes, I'm a professor of English.
No wonder I didn't dig you, Doc.
An
We don't speak
associate.
the same language. Are you familiar with the word encomium?
Yes. I listen to this program, too, you know.
And have you learned anything?
A great deal.
You didn't learn enough not to go on this program.
I've always been anxious to meet you, Groucho.
Well, I'm flattered.
I think that since the passing of the late George Bernard Shaw, you have some claim to being the leading wit in the English-speaking world. You may use that as an advertisement.
If you don't win any money here tonight, it won't be my fault. The first question may conceivably be, spell cat. Betsy, let's get back to you for a minute. I'm always interested in what people do for amusement. Elizabeth, I think I know what the professor does. He makes up words, but what do you do? Do you have any hobbies?
Well, I have a lot of fun with the Pioneer Gals.
I used to have a lot of fun with them, too, you know. Until they started uncovering those covered wagons. What are the Pioneer Girls, Elizabeth?
Well, they're a small band of middle-aged women, and we have different instruments and have a lot of fun. We entertain the veterans in the hospitals mostly. We never made any money, but the boys made them happy, and that was the main thing.
Well, what instrument do you play, Betsy?
The washboard.
You must be on the scrub team, huh?
Yeah.
Does this outfit have any other strange instruments in it, like a violin or a piano?
Oh, yes, we have all of those, and we have old things made. We had one made out of gas. We made it out of a gas pipe, and then we had a little drum with a string that we zing with.
Could you sing for us now?
No, I can't sing. I played the drums.
Oh. You play the drums?
Well, I did. I haven't been practicing for a while.
Well, unfortunately, we do have drums in our band. Would you knock out something for us on the drums?
If the audience can take it, I'll try.
Well, I was afraid of that. I tell you what you do. You come on down with me, and we'll see what you can do. We go down to the orchestra pit here, huh? And look, while we're going down there, could you entertain the audience with the soliloquy from Hamlet or something like that? A few stanzas of Lovelace?
The opening of the third soliloquy might be appropriate.
All right. Well, could you give us that? And he's going to recite the third soliloquy from Hamlet.
And now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player could so force his soul as to convince
Give
that
me a
his
background of
perverting his whole
Alexander's Ragtime Band.
Little Alexander's Ragtime Band. How you doing up there? Let's go. Betsy, that was beautiful. I'm sure CBS will be happy to learn there's nothing left of NBC except a few tangled wires. Well, I'd like to... How'd you make out? Did you finish the whole thing?
To myself.
Oh. I was going to say to your sorrow. Well, I'd like to continue this conversation, but now it's time to win some money.
In the race for the $1,000, John Burgoyne Ely and his partner are still leading with $200.
Let's see how much money you can make. You selected literary quiz, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. You can take anything from 10 to 100.
We would like...
70.
Number 7? Yes.
7. Who is the author of the novels Death in the Afternoon, To Have and Have Not, and Farewell to Arms?
Ernest Hemingway.
The boy with the beard. That's right, Ernest Hemingway.
You're off to a good start. You have $70.
Now, what would you like?
Number 8.
Number 8. Okay. In 1919, Somerset Maugham wrote a novel supposedly based on the life of the French painter Gauguin. What was this novel?
South Sea Setting, I've forgotten.
You know it when I tell you. It's The Moon and Sixpence.
Indeed.
Well, we still have $70.
All right. Now, what do you want?
Let's try the next one. Number
90?
90.
Ben-Hur was a bestseller as a novel and a big hit as a movie. Who wrote Ben-Hur?
Wallace.
General Lew Wallace is right.
You now have $160.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to try for?
100.
100.
100. One of the great novels at the turn of the century was Lord Jim, the story of a man's struggle to atone for cowardice. Who wrote it?
Joseph Conrad.
Joseph Conrad, also a man of the beard. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth deal.
And you wind up with $260. And that means that Professor Girdler and his partner, with their $260 in just 1 minute, will get the chance of the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
George, would you give us the latest report on how the DeSoto Plymouth dealers' used car campaign is going?
I'll be glad to.
The best bargains have my picture on them, you know.
I sure do. Folks, the Groucho Special campaign is a tremendous success. So many people have gone to their DeSoto Plymouth dealer for a good used car and said, Groucho sent me, that your DeSoto Plymouth dealer is doing something extra for Groucho's fans. He's taken the best used car bargains he has and put a special sticker on the windshield, marking the car a Groucho Special. Now, these Groucho Specials are unusually good cars, especially priced to make them the hottest values in town. You see, the overwhelming popularity of the 1954 DeSoto means that your DeSoto Plymouth dealer has obtained some really great used cars in trade. Many of them are late-model, one-owner cars. The very best will be the ones he selects as Groucho Specials. So don't miss out on this great opportunity. Tomorrow, first thing, go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers and look for the used cars with the Groucho Special sticker. Sign of a used car that's a really outstanding buy. There may be one that's just the car you've been looking for.
Yes, folks, the Groucho Special sticker is your dealer's way of showing you a real used car value. And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you.
And now, Groucho, it's time to meet our winning couple once again, Professor Girdler and his partner, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
All right, well, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide out a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Ludwig van Beethoven, one of the greatest composers of all time, wrote only one opera. For $1,000, what was Beethoven's only opera? Talk it over. What is the answer you two have decided upon?
We think it may be Parsifal.
No, that was Wagner. This is Fidelio. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, they lost the big money, but how much did they win the quiz, George?
They won $260 in the quiz.
That's not too bad. Congratulations to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight. Sorry you didn't win the big one.
We've been done for. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission also have on display the remarkable new Plymouth, engineered and built to be your best buy in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth, two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see the DeSoto Automatic.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Good drivers don't brag about their ability to get out of tight spots. They stay out of them. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jack Meakin. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces throughout the world.